Hello, it's Lisa from Big Cat Rescue. Hopefully you can hear me. As you see, I'm sporting a fashionable new mask today. We are trying to do our part here at Big Cat Rescue. So I have the microphone tucked inside. Hopefully the sound quality is good. So you can let me know in the comments if you're hearing me or you're not hearing me.
And just pointing out that we have a little bit of nature going on over there.
Yeah, we have a gopher tortoise, and he turned around to look at us. Hello.
So that's a gopher tortoise?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, and so for those that don't know out there, turtles live in water and tortoises live on land. So he's got his, if you ever see a nice big sandy heap like that, there's a good chance that a gopher tortoise is living in it.
And I guess don't help him out by throwing him in the water.
No. He doesn't want to go back in the water. He got a really long neck, which is kind of cool.
Which means they can reach right around and bite you.
Yeah. And I believe that they are a protected species in Florida. I believe I'm right about that. So.
They say they can hear you.
Good, yay.
So where do you want to go first?
So I thought today we would take a drive around. We've had a lot of cat movement. So maybe take a drive around and see where everybody has set up housekeeping in a different spot here at the sanctuary. And of course we have to visit Funcation. Absolutely.
So the first thing is the cat who's not here right now.
Yes. So this is Tiger Lake. For those of you who are familiar, I'm sure you're on this Explore.org camera every day, but those of you that don't know, Explore.org is a 24/7 live cam website, and we have many cameras here at the sanctuary, and one of them is here at Tiger Lake. Normally this enclosure belongs to Duchess Tiger, but Duchess Tiger is on vacation right now. And what does that mean for cats? Well, that means we have a 2.5 acre vacation rotation that each cat, it's like tiger timeshare. Each tiger gets a chance to spend a whole month. And it's just another form of enrichment. The same reason you and I like to go on vacation. We don't like to see our same environment. We like to see new things and experience new things. So it is a form of enrichment for the cats. There's new smells, there's new sounds, there's new sights. And there's also a water feature in vacation rotation and a camera at Explore.org. So you can check in on Duchess, who's currently on vacation. And sadly, our kitten cabana is affected by coronavirus. So those of you who like to follow that on Explore, there's not going to be much to see in there, at least on the live feed. So that's an unfortunate result of the times that we're living in right now.
Although I was really surprised because I thought the entire program was going to go away, and the interns are saying no, even though we're having to work extra hard, we still want to help kittens, so there may be a lot more kittens.
Oh, yay! Oh, Tomtom! Tomtom! Oh, sweet girl. Oh.
She didn't eat all her breakfast.
No. So this is Tomtom Bobcat. She is one of our senior Bobcats here at Big Cat Rescue. She came to us all the way from California with 2 other Bobcats named Shiloh and Filmo and a hybrid cat named Mauser. Yeah. Don't want to mess with her eating there.
You can see she was born in 1999.
Oh, that breeze feels nice. It is getting warmer here in Tampa. So whenever you have a nice breeze off the lake, that always is very welcome. So Max is back from vacation. I don't see him right now, but I see Kimba. Hello, Max. Hello, sweet boy. So did you have a nice vacation? You look very well rested. Your belly looks a little wet, like maybe you've been in your pool. Maybe a little bit. So Max and Kimba in the background there, and Simba, another tiger, all 3 came to us from Guatemala. They were rescued from the circus The circus was shut down in Guatemala, and Animal Defenders International helped us make that happen, that transition. As you can imagine, trying to rescue cats internationally is quite an undertaking. So they were about 18 months process from the time we knew they were coming to the time they arrived. But they're much happier here than living in the circus, that's for sure. And it's Jasmine! Hello, Princess! Looking very stately up there on your platform. Hello! You might notice that all of the tigers have water features. They have pools in their enclosures because tigers are natural swimmers. They swim not just to get from point A to point B or to hunt, but also just for pleasure. They enjoy it. Showed us all your teeth there. Jasmine is one of 4 cats that came to us from Ohio, and that was a rescue. The USDA confiscated them, and they were here for about 4 years before we knew they were going to be here permanently. So that was a very happy day. I'll never forget, April 30th, 2019. She came with Duchess Tiger, who's on vacation, and Sapphire, who's just up around to the next enclosure, and our favorite boy, Jinx, the black leopard, who we're going to see hopefully on Funcation. You look pretty happy up there.
Since you were covering cat news, I figured I'd go out to vacation rotation first since it's the farthest away.
Yes, that sounds good. All right, so I want to share something that I'm working on currently. It's a new project, so we'll be sure and let you know when it's up and running. But I would like to have something especially for our kids at Big Cat Rescue.
Can you hold it?
I've been put in charge. This is a scary thought. So for just our kids, so I'm guessing it would be like age range of, say, maybe 4 to 12, something like that. And we're going to call it Big Cat Rescue Junior Keepers. And it's going to be dedicated to kids so that they can get that information in a kid-friendly manner and have activities and so forth that they're going to really enjoy. Hi, Edith. So we're coming around. That was Sapphire's enclosure we just passed, and now we're coming up on vacation rotation.
And to spin it around, you just touch the, turn it back this way, this little icon.
Oh, okay. Oh, just like on your phone, yeah, when you're doing a selfie. There we go. I am being taught how to run the equipment today, everybody.
Because I shouldn't drive on the
Oh,
phone.
there's Duchess. I don't know if we can, here, maybe hop off and get it. She's, whoops, I'm with you.
Okay, so it doesn't unplug you.
So Duchess is on vacation, and she is in her, one of her many dens, I should say. This is 2.5 acres, as I mentioned. Here she comes to say hello. Hi, Duchess. Oh, she's being very chuffy. Chuff, chuff. Good morning. Yes, hello. She's giving us some really nice chuffs, which if you're not familiar with that, that's a happy tiger sound. I think she's enjoying vacation so far. Hi, Noor. Aw.
Go let the people on the camera.
So again, this is another explore.org camera. And so when you do that, you want to look for vacation rotation. Here, let me give you a close-up on that. If anybody wants to take a picture of that or screenshot it, there you go. That's where you're going to find this. Oh, she's having a nice drink. It is very warm today, so I'm sure she's very thirsty.
It takes some finessing.
Uh-huh. You know, I keep forgetting it's just a phone. You know, I'm treating it like it's a camera. Like I know how to use my phone. Good morning, Beth Ann. Morning, Holly. Could be here for a while. It's a big drink. Ah, I hope you can all see how pretty she is. So I'm going to step back a little bit and give you an idea of the size of vacation rotation. Whoops, maybe, except it just did something crazy. Oh, can't do your phone while recording. What I do?
Let the motor do it, or
My apologies, everybody. Rookie error.
to wait for it to shut down and then start back up.
So I'm going to let Carole handle this while we walk. So this will give you an idea of the size of the vacation rotation. Let me check it out. There, is that better?
My pocket.
Okay, there you go. So you can imagine for a tiger to be able to run at full speed in an enclosure, that's really something. That's more than any of these cats would have ever had the opportunity to do had they been kept where they originally came to us from. And we often get asked the question, well, if we care about the cats so much and we want them to be conserved and we care about tigers in the wild, why do we keep them in enclosures? There's a lot of reasons for that. For one thing, tigers are not native to North America, where we could definitely not set them loose here. It's also against the law to release a cat into a habitat that is not their own. We have a lot of invasive species that happen in the U.S. We're having a real problem with snakes in the Everglades, for instance, because people have had pets and just said, oh, well, the snake is inconvenient or for whatever reason, and they just take it to the Everglades and dump it. And this is causing a huge ecological imbalance in the Everglades right now. So the same thing would be the case if you just released a bunch of wild cats in habitat that is not created for them. And also these cats have only ever been in captivity. They don't know anything else. They don't know the first thing about how to survive in the wild, other than a few instincts that are just there naturally, but they have no experience. They didn't get to spend time with their mothers, which is what cats do in the wild, spend about 2 years with their mother learning how to be a cat, how to hunt, how to protect themselves, how to do all the things that they need to do in the wild. So there's many reasons why it's just not possible. It sounds, in theory, like a great idea to just release them, but it's just really not feasible.
Holly wants to know if you can keep several cats together in there.
The rule at the cat rescue is if the cats live together, they go on vacation together. So we do, but we currently do not have any tigers that live together. Those of you that have been big cat rescue followers for a long time might remember Zabu and Cameron, for instance, or Amanda and Arthur and Andre. So we have had tigers that have had other cats living with them, and then they did go on vacation at the same time. And usually that only happens because they're raised together. We don't just decide to introduce 2 tigers when they get to big cat rescue. That's usually not a good plan. Most cats are solitary by nature in the wild, and that's what they would like to continue to be. She's posing really nicely right there between those trees. Was that an Amanda Chuff? Was that an Amanda Chuff? Oh my goodness.
I like to be sung to.
Aww. I even have a song in mind for you. I do. I do have a song for you. So we're going to test that out one day, okay? See if you like your song. Yeah. Yeah, sweet girl. I heard that you like to be sung to. Somebody told me that about you. Oh, you're looking so pretty today.
So sweet.
Aww. Do you like having Duchess over there? Is she your friend? You like Duchess okay? I know we look kind of weird with these things on our face. I get it.
She does not know what to make
I get it.
nest.
I get it. Yeah. It is kind of strange. Oh, she's being so sweet today.
Yeah.
Sweet girl. Aww. That makes me happy. So Amanda, the reason we're so happy about this. Those of you that don't know Amanda's story, she was used for like handling as a cub. She's not a big fan of people usually, especially big tours going by. Whenever we were still doing tours before the coronavirus, this was a place we did not bring our groups because just didn't make her happy, stressed her out.
Noir says she loves your voice.
Oh, no, I love you. Thank you.
And everybody else is like, Amanda's being nice. Oh my gosh. It's a miracle.
I'm gonna try that song for you. Yes, I am. We're gonna try it. Not today. Not today. She's watching the keeper behind us here.
Is she chuffing at you? Does she like you?
Yeah, that's my girl.
Aw, that's why. She's happy Rich is here.
Ask.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome.
Who is that?
Aw.
So you're gonna help
Yeah, so this is Rich. Say good morning, Rich. So the reason he has all this gear, our enclosures are cleaned every single day. And you'll notice he has a really long pole with a hook on the end. And that is like a giant poop scooper. And it is used not just for poop, but anything that needs to come out of the enclosure. It could be leftover enrichment, like a paper bag, or it could be something that the cats have decided is something they should try to interact with, like a lizard or a bird. So anything that needs to come out of there. And also, I'm sorry I missed my opportunity there, Rich. Give him the tongs again. So, the hands are never placed into the enclosure. This is all very much, oh, love it. He's got tiger poop. Yay. So this is, sure, show us.
Yeah, this is kids and cats. They
Yeah, there's nothing like, I used to always do that on kids' tours. I'd always try to find somebody with poop. Nice.
Oh, that.
Nice. So, the scraper is used to safely get into the enclosure between the cage wire and scrape whatever needs to be scraped. Oh, we're going to get a demo here. I love it. To a safe location that the tongs can safely be used to remove it. So therefore, hands and fingers do not become something interesting for a cat. There's also bleach and a scrub brush in the water dishes, and the feeding lockout is scrubbed down. So nothing's left to sit out and get rotten and attract flies and other things. So that's done every single day. Obviously after feeding, that's the natural way of things, right? First food, then poop.
Oh, do I have my mask on?
Thank you. I also want to point out that Rich has on a Navy shirt. There is a system here for volunteering at Big Cat Rescue. If somebody decides to sign up to volunteer, they just don't walk in the door and that week they're cleaning tigers. That's not how it goes. There's a quite extensive training process that happens before you get to that level. So how many years, Rich?
17.
17 years volunteering. And how many years before you did tigers?
Where I did, well, I was a yellow shirt for about 6 years.
Yeah. So it's quite a process because you really have to know how to be safe around these cats. You can never assume just because they're in an enclosure and they have names and we feed them and all those things that they're ever going to be domesticated. They're not ever going to be, ever. That takes thousands of years of DNA and evolution for that to happen. You don't domesticate a cat overnight. So
Even though Amanda might love him, he would never stick his hand in there.
no. Absolutely not.
Stick your hand in somebody else's hand.
That's right, yeah. And a certain amount of it is respect. I mean, it's about safety for sure. But also I think all of us really respect the cats, and we don't just assume that they want us to touch them or do anything with them. And unfortunately, a lot of places that are not accredited sanctuaries like Big Cat Rescue don't have that same philosophy. They look at the cats as their property and to do with as they will. And if they want to let people touch them and pet them and do all those things, then it's their right because they own them. So, yeah, and then you get a lot of unsafe practices in that situation as well. Look how sweet you are. Well, this is like the highlight of my day, getting to see Amanda. Look at you. And chuffing and everything.
Where's Andy?
Oh, I'm not sure. He said he was taking the morning off. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think he's fine. I think this was a planned event, not accident. Thank you, Rich. From, is it Teresa?
Deb thanked you for
Yeah.
using me as a service. Oh, she's chuffing at it.
Amanda says, are you sure that's Amanda? Yeah, we're in the right place. I know, right? Aw. I do think some of the cats are reacting differently due to our shutdown, not having so many visitors and strange people around. I think some of them are really enjoying that. And I've heard a lot of stories generally about animals and wildlife coming out more because there's less human activity. So there's always an upside to things. Ooh, that was a nice rumble.
It's like, now you girls can go away. I got my guy.
Oh, yeah. We're going to leave Rich to his time with Amanda.
He's all yours, Amanda.
That was really something. Where did Duchess take off to?
I'm like, fine.
She's like, no,
Amanda, I'll just leave.
Aw. It's very nice back here. There's lots of trees and there's a nice little breeze. This is a nice spot to be. So before I went live today, I was helping with cleaning one of the enclosures. That's something that is happening a lot now. If you wonder what people are doing, since we're not giving tours, there's always work to be done here, for sure. Upkeep and maintenance is never ending. It's an ongoing process, so that's what we're doing. So we're currently working on Kelowna and Dryden Bobcats enclosures, their bubbles, and one of them is pretty overgrown. I think they got a little more space, so we're getting that all ready for them. I'm going to turn this around again. Did I do it? Yes. Okay. All right, so we're going to be driving by vacation. So once again, you can get a sense of that 2.5 acres. And there is a water feature up in the corner there in the far distance, if you see that red car.
It's called a pond.
A pond. I like it called a water feature.
Your condo is like
So still going by vacation rotation. Hi, Jamie. So as we come around here, you're going to notice that this area is pretty wild and does not have any enclosures. There is a reason for that. A few reasons for that. It's swampy. It also keeps vacation rotation, that area big enough for that enclosure. And we also have a special cat up here, Miss Nikita Lioness, who really likes to be left to her own self. She likes her privacy. She likes her quietness back here. And Nikita is also an Explore.org camera cat, so if you ever want to check in on her, you can definitely check in. She's sitting under her platform right now. Hello, Nikita. So we're coming up on some changes of enclosures here. Unfortunately, there's a few reasons for this. Some of it is a type of enrichment for the cats because they enjoy, just like we don't keep things the same. We rearrange our furniture, or paint our walls, or do different things in our own habitats, our own homes. And also there is loss that happens here. That's just inevitable. That's part of our circle of life. And the cats that come to us often already have some health issues, and we do take cats that are older. We don't take cubs, so for that reason, that's just a part of the experience here at Big Cat Rescue. But it's very comforting to know that they have had the very best life they could have while they've been with us. So what we just passed is a future home for Aries. Aries is going to get moved over there. When I saw him, he was down there this morning. Did they already move him?
oh, okay. Well, I knew
And
he was not.
yeah, so Manny has got now, I believe, that direction, more bubble.
So they're putting Aries up here.
I think, but they have his sign down there, so that's why I think maybe he's in here right now because Jinx is on vacation. I swear I saw him over here. There he is. I know I saw you, but it says Aries here too, so I'm kind of confused. It says Aries down there, it says Aries up here. We're not sure. Do you want to go this way? Okay. Oops, sorry. All right, I got it. Hello, handsome. What do you think of this new spot, huh?
On your nose.
Hello. So those of you that are new to us watching today, Aries Cougar, oh, I love the paws. My cat does that at home, sits like that. He is one of 3 cougars that came to us actually as cubs, and that was a unique situation. That was not because they were bred, it was because they were found in the wild. Their mother had been taken by a hunter. This was in Idaho. And they were rescued at that point, and the only options, unfortunately, were to go to a zoo or go to a sanctuary. Idaho did not allow rescue, rehab, and re-release, which would have been the natural way things could have gone for them. There was no reason that they had to be kept in captivity because they weren't born in captivity, but unfortunately, Idaho's regulations did not allow for that. And as a counter to that, here in Florida, we are able to rescue and rehab bobcats and re-release them. So we have a very successful bobcat rehabilitation program here at Big Cat Rescue. Distracted by your gorgeous eyes. So handsome. So those bobcats obviously are not bred in captivity. They have been rescued in the wild and for various reasons need to be rehabbed. Could be an injury, could be being separated from their mother, and then once they have proven successful in their rehabilitation, then they get to be re-released. And that is the same county that they were found in, rescued in. So again, that's the only kind of cat that can be re-released. Hello, handsome. Oh, he's purring. He's purring. Oh my goodness.
Everybody was waiting for that purr.
Oh my goodness. So handsome. I haven't decided on a good song for you yet either, Aries. It has to come to me. All right, well, I wonder who's on funcation.
I think you need more of the lead now.
Okay. He was over on the far side this morning, but I don't know if he's still there. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, he was like all the way over there. Yeah, maybe we should drive around. Okay. So this is funcation rotation. So it is a bit smaller than vacation rotation, which is for tigers, and this is for every cat on property who isn't a tiger. And the reason for that is vacation rotation is unroofed, and so it has to only be for cats that don't climb and jump. So that would be tigers and lions. This is a roofed habitat, as you can see, enclosure. Because if we put Manny the Jaguar or Aries the Cougar in vacation rotation, they would not stay very long. They would find their vacation spot in Tampa. Oh, platform? Maybe not. False alarm. That's the thing about Jinx, you know? When you're a black leopard and you're in the shadows of your den, he was laying right there this morning. He may not be out and about. Oh, well. Yeah, of course. So those of you that have been followers of us for a while may remember that this used to be the Cougars Enclosure over here. And now Serval is in there. And I think he was so distracted, he didn't even finish his breakfast this morning. I think he's just so excited about checking out his new area here.
The reason we did that is he is one of the youngest cats here, and he really loves to go on plantation, but he hates to get caught.
Ah,
Just running through the tunnels.
I see.
He's crated.
Oh, that makes sense. I'm sure that might be part of his prior to big cat experience, maybe. Yeah, he was kept by a breeder in Ohio before he came to us, so I'm sure the confined spaces are not a positive memory for him. Jinx, are you back here? Jinx, because he is a black leopard, he doesn't enjoy full sun. It starts to get really warm. So he usually tries to find the shadows and the coolness this time of day.
In the dark, too.
It's the eyes. You have to look for the eyes. But you know, I'm always willing to do a search for Jinx. Never mind. I know he's not in there because it's not big enough. And again, you can get a sense of the size of this as we're walking. So the smallest enclosure that we have at Big Cat Rescue is 1,200 square feet. So it's sometimes misleading if you see a video or a photograph and you just see the cat in one area. For instance, this is a feeding lockout. This is where the cats get fed every morning, but if you see a picture of a cat in there and you think that that's the size of their enclosure, it's quite misleading. Yeah. So you, just like you have rooms in your house at home, these enclosures have many sections. And I don't think he's going to be cooperative right now. It's all right. He's taking his siesta right now. Now Jinx did come with Duchess and Sapphire and Jasmine from that confiscation in Ohio. And Ohio, interestingly, has really strong regulations around ownership and breeding of big cats, and they're enforced. So often people would ask me on tours, well, why do you have so many cats from Ohio? And thinking that people in Ohio were doing this more than other places, and actually the opposite is true. There's actually more tigers in captivity in Florida and Texas than there are in most other states. But we get the cats from Ohio because Ohio enacts those regulations. And if you want to know how you can help, I'm going to tell you. So one of the problems is that we have a patchwork. We have 50 states, and they do not all follow the same regulations. It's state by state. So we have been trying to pass legislation, or get it voted on to pass legislation called the Big Cat Public Safety Act. That would be federal legislation, and that would mainly address ownership and especially breeding of exotic cat cubs. So a way you can help, you can make the call of the wild. And you're going to text cats to 52886, and you're going to be given a page to put in your name, telephone number, address, and zip code. Based on the zip code, you automatically get connected to the correct senators and state rep. It's very user-friendly. Takes maybe 5 minutes. You don't always talk to an actual person. Sometimes you can just leave a message. In fact, usually if the senators, you're going to leave a message. But reps usually have somebody answering the phone. And just mention the Big Cat Public Safety Act and mention your zip code, because they want to hear from voters. They want to know that you are one of their constituents. And of course, it's always better to ask nicely. You get more with sugar than with vinegar with people. Good morning. Hooch. Is he behaving himself? So, More keepers. Hose wranglers. So again, as we talked about earlier, this cleaning is going on, and they have their buckets on their poles, just like what we saw with Rich. This is June and Mary, so good morning. So I found it at Hutch is a little bit interesting. You're interesting, Hutch. Find out all kind of fun facts when you start cleaning. Yeah, sweet boy. So Hutch is a serval. Servals are native to Africa, but the servals that are here at Big Cat Rescue have never seen Africa. They've all been born in captivity. And servals, unfortunately, are bred for the exotic pet trade. They're very popular, and they're also used to breed hybrid cats, which is a serval and domestic cat. So hence we have lots of servals and many hybrid cats as well. People make the mistake of thinking that they want this exotic pet, and even the hybrid cats, they really don't end up making good pets. That wild side of them, that serval DNA is always going to predominate. Daniel Prius seems to be doing okay, but Duchess has only been on vacation, what, 2 days? Yeah.
And there's
So
a lot of people painting and scraping and doing all kinds of work on her cage, so we're going to have a lot of company the next few
there you go. Hutchner says hello. And there are so many domestic cats that need a home out there that if you really want a pet, that would be the thing to do rather than trying to get a hybrid cat or a serval cat that is not meant to be your pet. That is really the best answer. And they are great company, especially during all this social distancing and stay-at-home activities that we're doing right now. Nothing like having a fur friend. Yeah, so anyway, just to show you, these are two of the moves that we made. This is Zukari and Ginger, and they both used to be, Zukari used to be all the way on the far end, closer to Gilligan, and Ginger used to be across the way here, a couple of bubbles down. So.
And again, the reason for doing that is so that we can get them out to find kids.
So there you go. That's good information to know. I always learn something every time I come. I think you have to be here every day, and probably even that there would still be things you wouldn't always hear.
There's always stuff going on.
Yeah.
And imagine my surprise.
So I guess my advice today is if you don't have a fur friend yet, get yourself a fur friend. But make sure it's domesticated. That's the lesson today. So I will be sure and keep everybody updated on the progress of that kids program, the Big Cat Rescue Junior Keepers. I'm a teacher, so things are winding down. I have 2 more full weeks to go, and then I can give that my full attention. So in the meantime, I'm in between things. I'm processing, collecting my thoughts, getting ideas from what I'm doing with kids at school. So.
Maybe if they have ideas, they can put them in the
Oh,
comments.
absolutely. I always welcome ideas. Yeah, and ask, go to the source. Ask the kids. Ask the kids what they would like, what interests them. That's always a great thing to do.
As we hang up here, we're going to take Lisa back and show her virtual reality, and I think that's going to become her new jam because it is so cool.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. All right, everybody, thank you so much for being here today. Have a perfectly awesome Saturday, and we'll see you next week. Or tomorrow, if you tune in for Singing Sunday. All right, bye.